Hello there, welcome back to my channel at Ideal Gardens. I am Jeremy Price here in the UK, in Gloucestershire, deep in the Cotswolds, and today I'd like to show you and talk to you about why it is a good idea to have the overgrown nettle area in the back of your garden, not to be rushing around, getting the strimmer out and knocking them all down, because at the end of the day, wildlife is quite a big priority. You can see there the little larvae there and some cuckoo spit further down. So don't be tempted to get the strimmer out and take all this down, because these areas of overgrown nettles are a great haven for wildlife. Birds come and eat the aphids. You can zoom in there. A couple of bees flying around on the wild. These salvias there. And in here there's all sorts. There's docks, there's nettles, there's grasses with nice seed heads. If you look down there, there's some brambles with some berries on it, some ash saplings which will come out later on. And then you get the buttercups growing through here, and then get these guys here. I'm not sure what the name of that is. No, don't know. And then over here you have growing wild euphorbia. You can see the flowers there. And amongst all this, get, also said before, brambles, and you get the grasses of the Carex pendula, which is coming out in there. It's always wise to keep these areas. And amongst there were some bluebells coming up. Those come right in. You'll see the flowers of the spent bluebells, flowers there, the seed heads on that, and it's nice. And then there's a log stack at the back there to zoom in, covered in ivy, probably a great haven for wildlife again. If I zoom out of here, so having areas like this, patches of nettles and dock, and all the other weeds. In front here you get flowers of the wild geranium. It's always wise just to keep these areas, a little pathway coming through, strimming here, which was trimmed earlier. And there's been some GMs in there, wild GMs, salvias, buttercups, daisies, all sorts of things. It's always wise to keep these areas of nettles, because then what can happen is the birds later on can feed upon these seed heads once they've dried out. And it's a good place for wildlife to be. Butterflies, great, they love nettles also. Good diversity plant, and it's great for garden fertilizer. So you stick some of these in a bucket of water, wet down with a brick, and in a couple of months you will have your home fertilizer ready to put around the garden. And it's all good natural stuff. Some dock there, some good old-fashioned dock leaf. And then there's some cuckoo spit. A lot of bees buzzing around the area on the wildflowers that are deep down inside. So, as I said, it's a really good haven for wildlife to thrive there in amongst. And you see some ladybirds zooming right there. Look at that. I'm not sure what that is, but you can join as we go further in. You see some more wild geranium. And some buttercup in the back there as well. Sun's starting to come out. It's been quite a wet morning, but in England we've been needing the rain. And look, zoom right in there, you can see more insects. This is a great harvest, a great place for insects to be, because it means that the birds can come in and feed themselves really. So before you start getting out the strimmer, I think it's always wise just to keep nettles, or keep areas like this. It's quite like a woodland feel. So amongst these nettles we have big silver birches coming out. We've been stripped a pathway, as I said earlier, through there. And it's just a nice haven for wildlife, and to have an area like this, so it's not all streaming down. If I zoom in there, there's the bee just flew off. Some bramble. So yeah, it's a great place. So always keep areas like this just a bit of a wild place, and always strimming it down. And it's just nice to have a naturalised plot at the back, just so that yeah, like I said, wildlife can thrive in there really. Then later on, once it's all in the winter months, you can then trim it down ready for the new growth and new life that will come in next year. And then other than that, you can eat the berries when they come out, the blackberries there. I'll be up to the silver birch, which needs to come off. But just a nice natural wild area of the garden, which is right at the back of the garden. Some load of dock leaves in there. You get like nice double shade as well, grasses. So yeah, next time you want to come and bash the weeds down, just think of the wildlife, think of what's happening in here, think of the diversity, think of Nettles are great for butterflies, for birds, bees. There's all sorts happening in here, and there's been some, you can sow some wild flowers in here, you can put down some wild flower seeds, some bulbs, let sort of snowdrops come up, you can let bluebells come up, and it's just a nice place to have an area of just complete naturalisation anywhere in the garden, normally at the back, so your neighbours can't see, or your friends when they come round. Okay, well thanks for joining me, and please subscribe if you like what I do. Please make a comment, anything that you've seen in my videos. Also got a podcast which is called the Ideal Gardens Podcast, which you'll find on Amazon, Spotify and other places like that. So that'd be nice to get a few more subscribers and a few more likers on these videos I make. I've only just started, so I'm only getting a collection at the moment of subscribers. That'd be nice to have a few more. And also in the link of my YouTube is the Buy Me a Coffee, which I also post up regular blogs on there and photos what I do. So I've been gardening now for pretty much all my life since I left school, and been to colleges. Just like to show areas of what things I do. Snail there, clinging on, but it's always something to see in these sort of areas of natural growth. Okay, right, that's it for me. Please like my videos, subscribe to my channel, it should be nice to get a few more subscribers. Ding that bell, like that like, and I'll speak to you soon. Okay, enjoy the rest of your week, bye for now.